Wayne, it seems like a massive operation to bring a whole team down here for the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder.
It is. Getting everybody organised, to take a whole week off is a big deal, and trying to keep them happy for a whole week is also quite entertaining at times. But that's what we have to do to get the test runs in and be ready for the race weekend.
Your team's got a heavy family atmosphere, that's for sure.
Yes, it's orientated around the family and good long-term friends, so that makes it all work pretty nice.
Well, let's have a run through of the crew. Your grandson Obi's been with you for a little while now. What's his role?
Heading towards being the major crew chief. I still make a lot of decisions along with him. He's learning a lot as we go, and he has a lot of contacts within the sport as well. So that makes it a bonus for him to be able to get information when we need it from people outside of the square.
And of course, you've got a cousin Hayley here as well.
Yeah, she's part of the family really, and a big hand on the engine with me when we're doing the engine. And then she's into the data as well. She's learning all the data on the race pack, how to enter all that, and that's just a big bonus for the team.
And the wives are heavily involved with Anna and Hayley, Obi's partner?
Yeah, they do all of the looking after the clothing and shopping and cooking and all of the rest. It takes quite a bit to keep the whole team happy all week and fed all week and housed all week. So that they're a major part of the team as well, yeah.
You've recently brought Justin on board. He's got a fair bit of pro stock experience. Where's he fitting in?
He's into the clutch in the car and any other hands-on work required around the car, and he's very good at it, and a huge bonus to the team as well.
Now this weekend you've also got a what we'd call an old hand at this pro stock game. Dave Tucker's here in the pit with you. What's he, like a sounding board?
I rely on Dave a lot to keep his eye on everything that's going on. He's been around for a long time, he's been a friend for a very long time, and I feel very comfortable when he's around because he sees things sometimes that I don't see. Yes, our truck driver John's not with us this weekend. He's holidaying in Western Australia, not having as good a time as he'd have with us, I hope. And my backup girl Erin, she's not with us this weekend either. Your replacement is not quite as pleasing to the eye, I can tell you, and I can't wait till these are both back with us.
So what are we doing here?
We're machining all the clutch discs to get a nice clean sharp surface for the next run, so we keep the consistency in the clutch.
Do we have to do this after every pass?
Every pass, yep. That way we're back to the same baseline as what we started with, and we know we can have a consistent car.
Someone that's not familiar with a pro stock car, those clutch plates look pretty small.
They are very small and there's a very fine window to get them right. If you miss it by a few grams, it's the difference between a good run and a bad run.
And what about your helper here? What's her job?
Oh, she's the biggest helper around. She's the quality control, and if we don't get it right, I hear about it.
So what's happening, Obi?
We're just making some tuning changes as we've got to go back to a tune-up we had 7 years ago for this engine, but obviously we're unleaded now, so we've got to try and make an educated guess here today, so see how we go.
It's pretty tough going in without a baseline, isn't it?
Yeah, we're basically blindfolded at the moment, but we'll see how we go. We should make some pretty good calls and still run with them.
Hey, Justin, you're in with the business end of it, the clutch. What sort of changes can you make with this?
You can adjust start line pressure that the clutch clamps on at launch and counterweight as you're going down the track. The harder you rev the motor, the more the clutch pulls in by these levers and these weights. So to give the clutch more bite further down the track.
Looks very different to a conventional car clutch, of course. How many plates are in there?
There are 3 plates for the friction material and 2 for what they call the floaters.
So what affects the start line most?
The base part of the clutch setting there, screwed in and out on that nut there, and the RPM of the vehicle on the start line. The higher we rev it, we'll change the clutch settings.
I notice you're using a dial gauge in there. What are you measuring at that point?
We are setting what they call the 0 point of the clutch, so making sure everything around here is set up to a predetermined height and everything's perfectly straight and level.
Now the big trick this weekend, of course, is that with the engine being damaged last weekend in testing and then yesterday the rain, you've got no runs on this combination at all. How do you go into round 1?
We're behind the 8 ball, I can tell you that right now. We've got a plan, and it's based on knowledge between Dave and Obi and myself, and some of the other competitors have put some advice in as well with the fuel that we're going to use for this run. We've not used it before, and it'll be a fingers crossed, and it'll depend on who I'm racing as to how hard I push it on the first round.
The saving grace, I guess, is that it is the 400 Thunder 3-round all-run system. So you're going to get 3 races in today.
Yeah, we'll get 3 hits today, which will be good. Hopefully the first one's not a hard race, which will give us some information leading into round 2 and round 3. And if we can get that far, we should be looking pretty good by then.
Wayne back at the workshop after a very busy 10 days in Sydney. Didn't turn out quite the way you wanted, but 2 out of 3 wasn't a bad result in the end.
Well, it's all we could ask for, I guess, was to win each round as we came to it. The first round was okay. We won that one, not by a record margin. Second round was okay. Yet again, the car was slow. And third round, we had a hiccup on the start line.
Yeah, the car sort of seemed to jump through the beams, and you were just trying to edge it in, and the revs went sky high. What went on there?
The clutch has a switch on it that controls the launch RPM, and normally you'll launch the car around 6,500 to 7,000, somewhere in that area. What happened was when I put the foot on the throttle to go full throttle, I didn't have my foot absolutely flat on the clutch, and the travel on the clutch is very small on this car, something I've never had to deal with before. And the engine went to 9,000 RPM, and of course that threw my foot clean off, and that was the end of that day.
So it's the counterweight, etc., because it revs up. It literally just, as you said, ejected the foot.
It throws your foot off like you wouldn't believe, yep.
But as I say, I mean, you got a stack of points from 2 out of 3 wins. You picked up some ET points, and there's now only 15 points covering the top 3 in the championship. One single race is worth 20 points, so it's game on, isn't it?
Yes, it's definitely game on between probably the top 4 cars, I would say, right now. We put ourselves in a position where we're still in the race anyway, and we'll be trying real hard to win this one. It's probably the last time or last chance we'll get to win a championship with the amount of years that I still want to race. So this one's big for us, yeah.
Well, the main engine had to come out when you heard it in testing at Sydney. Hurt some pistons, but the good news is that's all going to be back in place for testing and for the Winter Nationals.
It certainly will be. It's down at Aaron's now. I expect in the next fortnight we'll have it back on the dyno and we'll have it all back together, and it should be as good as it ever was.
That's probably not good news for all your opposition.
I'd like to think that, yeah. I'd like to think that. We definitely have a good piece when it's good. It's real good, and the Winter Nationals is a big event. We'd definitely love to win that one.
Now you've got half a dozen passes under your belt in the new Dodge Dart. How are you feeling about the chassis, etc.?
The car's good. There's a few little things that are different about it. We're not finished with our setup yet, which is a little bit worrying. But I think the test weekend, if the weather's good, I think you'll find we'll get it to come right around about then.
Diamond T Custom Toolboxes create storage solutions for trade and work vehicles, including underbody and drawer units. They can also create the perfect toolbox for your camper or caravan. There's hundreds of stock designs, or they'll custom build for your individual needs. They use only heavy grade, quality material. They're Australian, made tough to do the job, and come with a 5-year warranty. Don't be disappointed by inferior imported products. Go to the website diamondtproducts.com to find the Diamond T custom toolbox that's right for you.